Hey friend, welcome back to Unleash Your Light with Luz. And today we're talking about something that comes up every single December, and that is goal setting. I'm definitely one that loves goal setting and of course achieving them, but I'm also one that gets a new planner every year. And whether or not I use it is for another episode. But setting goals and writing them down, creating a plan are things that I do love to do at the end of the year, aside from checking it quarterly, of course, or when I feel like I really do need to review my goals. But in this episode, I don't want to talk about the Pinterest perfect color coded New Year, New Me version that we've all been taught, because let's be honest, that doesn't work for everybody. And it used to work for me when I was in my 20s and even in my early 30s when, I had unlimited physical and mental energy to grind and hustle. But if you're in a season like the one that I'm in, which is that I want to continue achieving big goals, but without sacrificing time with family or burning the candle at both ends, then this episode is for you, my friend. I want to share three simple but powerful shifts that are completely changing the way that I'm planning for 2026. And honestly, when I first learned about these powerful mindset shifts, they made my goals feel so much more achievable and exciting. If goal setting has ever felt overwhelming, heavy, confusing, or like you're doing it wrong, make sure that you stay till the end because this is a good one. Make sure to grab a pen and paper or save this episode and schedule time in your calendar to do this. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's start with tip number one, and that is the identity shift. I want to start with something that flipped goal planning on its head for me. And like I said before, for the longest time, my approach to goals was all about focusing on what I wanted to achieve. I would write down what I wanted to have, a list of what I needed to do to get there. And while having a plan is absolutely the way to go, in my opinion, it's not where we should begin. If I'm being honest, sometimes, especially if I wasn't in the right mindset, those goals felt overwhelming before I even started. And as an avid reader of personal development, I've read about this framework from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and also from this other book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. But this concept goes way back to ancient philosophies. So this is the be, do, have concept. Most of us plan our goals backwards. We think, I want to have this result, so I need to do these steps, and then maybe I'll finally be the kind of person who has their life together. But this is, in my opinion, this is probably the slowest and hardest way to change. The transformation happens when you flip it. So instead of it being have, do, be, it is be, do, have. So be is identity, do is actions, and have are the results. So how does this work? So be is decide who you need to be, your identity, your mindset, your values in order to achieve these goals. The do is taking consistent actions that a person of that identity would take. And the have is achieving the result or the desired outcome or possession. And it starts with asking ourselves a few questions. Again, I asked you to make sure you have a pen and paper because I want you to really do this exercise. So ask yourself these questions. Who do I want to be this year? What kind of person achieves the goals that I want to achieve? Is that a person that is committed, consistent, resilient, positive, a problem solver, etc.? Then you begin behaving in that manner. If you want to be healthy, for example, then you behave like a person who is healthy. You meal plan, you eat the foods that help you get in shape, and you exercise regularly, right? And every time you do any of these, you increase your belief that you are a healthy person. If you want to be a writer, then you make time to consistently write. And every time that you write something, then you are a writer. Take me, for example. I'll give you one example for me is one of my goals for 2026 is to have a successful podcast in the top 100 in its category. So my belief And actions have to align with someone who has a successful podcast, which is being consistent with publishing an episode every week and creating episodes that resonate with my audience. Your habits are a reflection of your identity. Every small action that you take is a vote for the person that you're becoming. When your identity shifts, your habits follow. And when your habits follow, your results take care of themselves. This is the foundation of everything else that I am about to share. All right, so let's move on to tip number 2, and it's plan your reality, not your fantasy. Now, the second shift is an important one, and it might seem a bit contradicting at first, but hear me out. Do not, I'm going to say that again. Do not plan your goals as if you're suddenly going to become a completely different human on January 1st. This will take time. Now, you tell me if this sounds familiar. Okay, this is the year that I am going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to drink my green juice. I'm going to work out 6 days a week. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to read 30 books, travel, stop scrolling, meditate, meal prep, journal. You can go on, right? Now, let's keep it real. We all do this. We write goals as if our schedules magically clear up and our kids stop needing us and life suddenly becomes calm and predictable. But real aligned goal setting starts with acknowledging your actual season. So if you're in midlife like I am, and that means that you're going through some changes in your body, like having less energy, you need more sleep, you no longer want to be in that hustle mode, yet you still want to achieve your goals in a more peaceful and aligned way while still raising kids or teens, then you need to evaluate what you're spending your time on. I'm a big fan of saying no to things that no longer serve me or are not aligned with how I want to live my life. I am very particular with the people that I spend time with nowadays, and I don't say yes to all the events that I'm invited to, and I make sure to prioritize what's most important. And for me, that is my health, my family, and my goals. So I want you to ask yourself, what's on my plate right now? What are those responsibilities that you cannot hand over to anyone else, like obviously raising your kids, your job, your business, etc.? Then what can I realistically hold? So when you look at your calendar and your schedule, what can you realistically have time for? This is super important. And one of the things, just a side note, something that I like to do, which I kind of got away from and I'm going to start doing now, is time blocking. When you time block exactly for the things that you need to do, whether it's work, working on your business, your kids' activities, time to cook, etc., you're able to see exactly what you have time for. So versus having a list of all these things that you want to get done, and you can have that list. I do that all the time. Then I transfer those to-dos onto a calendar, and that shows me what I actually have time for, right? And that is important because, again, you don't want to feel like you have to do all the things, right? Then ask yourself, what are my priorities in this season of life? Obviously, if you work, then it's work, or if you have a business, family, friends or activities that fill your cup, those are important. You need to, and this includes on the weekends too. These are basically things that are important to you that fill your cup. This is a good one. What is draining you? What are those things that take too much of your energy that you can get rid of or just do less of? So draining relationships, including family members, chores that maybe can be delegated, right? That you really hate doing and you can afford to, maybe hire someone to come clean your house or to meal prep for you, whatever it is. Or maybe you can sign up for one of those meal delivery services that are on a weekly basis, whatever works for you, but try to get rid of those things that really drain your energy. Finally, what's supporting me? Like, what are those things that re-energize you? Do you have a self-care routine, whether it's in the morning, in the night, or both? How do you fill your faith cup? Do you go to church or do you have your morning prayer time like I do? Do you have, like, does family and friends time fill you? Does that re-energize you? Do you feel supported when you do that? And when you ask these questions, it's not about limiting yourself. It is about giving your energy to the things that matter most. So creating the habits and the beliefs that serve you while eliminating those things that don't. So back to the example of waking up at 5 o'clock, drinking the juice, working out 6 days a week, building a business, reading 30 books. Who does that? Traveling, stopping the scroll, meditating, meal prep, journaling. That's a lot. If those things don't align with the life that you're creating for yourself, then don't do them. I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning when my girls were little because I needed to have that time to get my workout in before they woke up. But now that they're older, I don't wake up that early. I don't need to wake up that early because they are teens. And if they do wake up while I'm, let's say, doing my workout, they know that it is my time and they rarely interrupt and they know better than, they've learned. I've given them the example and they understand that it is important for me to have that time. I also used to work out 6 days a week. Now I mostly do Monday through Friday, and I'm okay with missing a day here and there again because the season of life that I'm in, where I can't really overwork my body and I need to rest, is important. So I need to stick with it. And just because it works for somebody else that they can do 6 days a week doesn't mean that it's going to work for me. And as a final example, I no longer meal prep like I used to when my girls were little. I used to meal prep like meal by meal, and it does not work for me anymore because I like to spend my weekends and my time. Again, it's just different. It depends on, on you, what works for you. I choose to spend that time on the things that really, push my goals forward, like doing this podcast and spending quality time with my husband and my girls. So as you can see, this isn't about shrinking your dreams. It is about protecting them. When your goals match your capacity, they're sustainable. And when they don't, they fall apart by February. Okay, tip number 3, it is stop writing goals and start writing visions. I love this one. This is, like I said, the third shift, and honestly, one of my favorites. Goals are numbers, right? They're measurable. For the most part, they're measurable numbers, but visions are, again, identities, right? A goal says, I want to lose 10 pounds. A vision says, I'm a woman who takes care of her body with love. A goal says, I want to start a business. But a vision says, I am a woman who trusts her voice and builds a life that reflects it. A vision activates you. It really connects you to the why, to your why. It connects you to the emotion, the lifestyle, the version of you that rises to meet those goals, even when it's hard. And when you envision this, it comes to life. You feel it. It really gets you excited. So I want you to try this exercise. Write out on a 1 page, or maybe you can, if you need 2 pages, it's fine. But write out a description of your life as if it's already happening. Write your mornings. What do they look like? How you move through the day. What do you do, right? How do you speak about yourself? What are the things that you no longer tolerate? What do you prioritize with ease? How do you see your relationships? How do you feel about the work that you're doing, whether it's in a career, a job, or a business? Describe your surroundings and how it makes you feel. You'll be shocked by how your true goals appear naturally just from that vision. And once you write that down, read it over, edit it as many times as you want, but I want it to feel good for you. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for choosing to invest in yourself with your time and your attention. I hope that this podcast episode really served you today. This year, we're not just doing goals the old way. We are building from alignment, energy, truth, and clarity. If this episode spoke to you, don't forget to follow the show so you never miss a new episode. And if you want to help us grow, the best way is to share this episode with a friend and leave me a quick review. It truly makes such a difference. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me keep bringing you stories and conversations that inspire. Okay, so before you go, I have a question for you. Were you listening and thinking, okay, Luz, I need to do this and I don't want to set goals the old way anymore? If that was you, then I've got something super special that will help you go even deeper when it comes to your goals and your vision. It's called the Clarity Compass. This is my 5-day self-paced mini program that helps you create your personal vision, understand your season, and design aligned goals that actually feel doable. And because it is the end of the year, I am doing something super special. When you purchase the Clarity Compass, you also get a free 30-minute one-on-one session with me where we go through the work that you did to get clear on your vision, your goals, and your next steps together. This is only available for a short time, but I wanted to give you something that brings clarity and support as you step into 2026. The link is in the show notes, and I can't wait to see what you create. I am cheering for you, friends, as always. Until next time, go shine your light.